Welcome to our campaign, set in the galvanizing world of Electrival. Join us for an adventure full of noir intrigue and electrifying spectacle. See the description below for ways that you can stay informed on the latest episode of this series, as well as any other content featured on Dice Carnival. Today's episode is brought to you by C4 Labs, makers of amazing board game and RPG accessories, including dice towers, dice trays, and trading card deck boxes. Great as gifts, or just for yourself, and with free shipping in the US. I've been using their walnut dice coasters at my table for a year, and I can tell you they are unmatched. You can find their laser-crafted products at c4labs.com. Once again, that is c4labs.com. Link is in the description. Be sure to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts, and leave a good rating if you enjoy the episode. Without further ado, let's begin!
Welcome back to Electrival. We begin today, or rather this evening, above the Starlight District of the Upper City. The wide plaza and maze-like streets zigzag below the massive Ferris wheel that ever so slowly rotates. The ambient sounds are no different than they are before, except faintly the sounds of sirens. Flashing red and blue lights can be seen in one area of the Starlight District, an area that is slightly dimmer than the rest. One whose lights, many of them, were ruptured from the most recent electrical surge that had crippled several blocks. That's not the only casualties that were had, for this epicenter surrounds a flickering neon sign that faintly reads the Crocodile's Ballgown. We drift away from this alleyway, above the Starlight District, and we drift through lights, sounds, and we hear the peal of thunder ripple across the city and the land beyond. The first pitter-pats of raindrops collide with the window of a diner beyond the blackout range. Faint music can be heard playing from magical devices in the corner, and a waitress serves drinks to about the two denizens that are currently occupying the space this late at night. As she walks around in her apron, this half-orc woman sees a figure come in, a faint ringing of a bell. This man walks rather inconspicuously, other than the cloak he's wearing, which seems to have been burnt as though scorched by electricity. This figure walks in and says to the waitress, "Only need to use the wire." She nods and gestures towards the back of the little diner, where there's a kiosk covered in band stickers and flyers, a sort of telephone mount, like a booth, a single coiled cord running beneath a mechanism with dials and buttons and a slot for coin. As he approaches the kiosk in the back of the room and closes a small door, he inspects the kiosk below the coin slot and finds a tiny little sigil of an eye. And deftly, from around his neck, pulls out a key and slips it inside the indentation. He picks up the phone, and after only a moment, a muffled voice we can hear from outside seems to speak to him. We hear the figure say, "He's dead." "Understood. Awaiting further orders." Going dark. And with a deft click, he hangs the phone up, pulls out the key and slides it back under his shirt. And as the signs of electricity spark from the communication device, the waitress is already passing him with an out-of-order sign as he makes his way back into the bustle of the night and the din of the rain. But that isn't where our story takes place, at least not yet. And with a peal of thunder, we come outside the Maison Bleue, the main precinct of the Velvet Blue, the mercenary-esque police force that keeps peace and order in Electrival. And as rain drizzles down the windows, and passerbys begin seeking cover from the rain, we are brought inside. A stark room. The sounds of rain can be heard momentarily as a figure steps inside and are muffled as soon as the door is closed. This room is occupied by 2 chairs bolted to the ground, as well as a table, and a pair of handcuffs sits a lankier, bugbear individual, stripped of most of their belongings, to be placed in storage, and told to wait for the investigator. Mind you, that was close to 5 hours ago. Who knows what ungodly time of night it might be now. Soup, what has been going on through your mind as you have sat here in Velvet Blue detention?
Well, this is definitely my first run-in with any sort of law enforcement or justice organization. I've never committed any trouble, at least nothing serious. And very, very out of place. I'm very worried about what they've done to my staff, because that thing's definitely one of a kind, and I haven't had it off of my person since I can remember. I really want that back, and I hope it's okay. And I'm wondering what's taken them so long.
I guess then, as we're on the topic, Yenden, how has your detention been?
I'm getting kind of lonely. This was my first time being taken prisoner for anything, but it seems a lot nicer than what I've heard from some of my comrades from before.
Hugo, what have you been like during your isolation within this stark room?
Hugo's been doing as much fidgeting and lack of pacing as possible, probably saying things like, well, I'll find a lawyer, and I'll get him come down here and release me at once. Release me at once. I'm Hugo. You know me.
And the individual who brought you a glass of water says nothing as they walk out of the room. And Sky.
I'm pretty calm, but annoyed, to say the least. This is all a misunderstanding, and surely someone I know in this department is coming to let me out soon, or at least they'd better be. It's been 5 hours.
If you had to guess, it might even be more than that, but the light's too bright in here and you can't quite get comfortable enough to properly get too much of a rest. Fortunately, you weren't exactly injured in the previous incident that took place earlier this evening. And we return back to not only Soup, but all of you have a figure walking in. You're unsure exactly down to the minutes how long it's been, but you see this woman walk in. She's a half-orc, dressed in a white kind of striped police shirt that's buttoned up, except for the sort of top button, which is a little bit crooked from the rest of it. Her haphazard demeanor is challenged by the confidence she carries in her stride. The look on her face shows signs of sleepless nights, of case file reading, and perhaps whatever else plagues her in the evening. Nonetheless, she introduces herself. Hello, my name is Chief Ulysses Ulimbrith. I'm lead investigator here at the Velvet Blue. I'm going to ask you some questions. I believe your name is... We had it taken down as Soup.
Yep, that's what it is.
All right. I'm going to begin with what exactly you're doing this previous evening on the night of the 20th.
Not of the 20th. That was... Yeah, that's this evening. Dates. I went to the concert. I was invited to the concert. I was given a ticket. And that's what I was doing. If you want me to recount what I saw and what happened, I'd be glad to. What time is it?
Mrs. Sky. You have a last name?
Diver.
Skydiver. What was your business on the night of the 20th?
I was attending the concert. I am a huge fan of Mr. Brassleaf, and I've enjoyed his work for years.
Yenden, you are asked the same question.
I went over to the Crocodile's Ballgown, I believe it was called, to see a concert by Hugo Brassleaf.
Hugo.
You hadn't heard. I was performing. And then in the middle of the concert, my automatons attacked me. And, well, the rest of the group as well. Anyway.
You see she writes down on a piece of paper. They were your automatons. They were your purchase.
Well, yes, but I didn't get them new.
How long were you in possession for these haywire androids?
Barely a week. I don't even know what happened. I just got them working, literally a minute before the concert.
Who was in charge of operating them and handling them and managing maintenance on them?
My manager, Jaren.
Write it down.
Well,
do you know where we'd be able to get in contact with this Jaren?
No, he recently left my employ when the things attacked. I don't know why. I can't believe this is happening.
Panning to Soup. Soup. Please state your current place of business.
I work with the College of the Macabre, currently in maintenance of the sewers.
Do you have any experience working in technical facilities, such as tinkering, electronics, plumbing, automatons, aether tech?
I know nothing of such.
Do you have any family members in the city who operate in such jurisdictions?
Yes, I do. I have a sister.
Please state the name of your sister and how we will
Loaf.
be able to contact them.
Loaf is currently out of the city doing some charitable work, but
Are they a
you can
sibling by blood?
probably- Yes.
A bugbear as well?
Mm-hmm.
What can you state their place of employment?
Jumpstart Initiative.
Do they have any sort of... She writes this down. Do you know if your sister has any experience working with automatons?
I don't know, and I don't think so.
Who was aware of your travel plans to see Hugo Brassleaf this evening?
Jack, if you know him, Jack is the pretty well-known name in the college. Jack gave me the ticket.
Any
And
other
I
name
was-
besides Jack?
I was
Who's
with
in the college?
who's in the college. I didn't really understand if he's in the college or not, but I was attending with Gendon.
Cutting to Gendon. Gendon. She asks you, where are you employed?
At a construction site. I don't think I ever got the name.
She writes down a note. What was your business on the night?
I already said so. I was at the Crocodile's Ballgown to see Hugo Brassleaf in concert.
Who was aware of your planning to attend it, the concert?
I believe that's Jack.
Do you or any of your family members work in utility, such as tinkering, electronics, plumbing, automatons, aether tech?
Don't know about those last two, but I've done a bit of stuff with, I don't know, whatever I've got around.
What is your... I didn't get this from you when they brought you in. What is your age?
30.
Roll a deception check.
Oh shit. That's 7.
She raises an eyebrow as we cut to Hugo. What do you know about Mr. Gilded? Were you aware of his intentions to attend the event last evening?
I was only made aware by my manager about 3 minutes before the show started. Couldn't have helped with the jitters of it.
What is your relationship with Mr. Gilded?
That's a bold assumption. I've wanted a relationship with him for so long. Not that kind, mind you. Just he's the most famous man in town. Of course,
Do you have business and/or family relations with any other carrying the title of Merchant Prince?
No. No, but that's been something I was striving for.
What do you know about the Free Legion?
If it doesn't pertain to me, my music, or anything I'm attending, I know basically nothing.
Who had access to your automatons the previous evening? Did you perform any sort of maintenance on them prior to the events that transpired?
Yes, it was just a simple repair.
Do you contain licensing to handle automatons?
Well, no, but it was just following instructions in the manual to set them up and turn them on.
Who signed off on, who provided you the license to manage these automatons?
Well, that would be the person I purchased them from. Little
We checked your belongings, we did not find a license among them, nor did we find them at the scene of the crime.
I honestly don't know what to say.
Mr. Hugo? Mr. Brassleaf? I don't know how to bring this to you, but you're facing a lot of trouble,
What?
even on the events that transpired. To be fair, the Velvet Blue could bring you in for negligent maintenance of Aether Tech technology.
How? How is this even possible? I literally just... It was a booklet. It was a book that said what you need to do to make this thing tick.
Operating advanced machinery without proper credentials and/or training.
This was a user's manual, not a maintenance licensed personnel manual. How?
And possibly conspiracy for the murder. One Mr. Gilded.
No. You've got this all wrong. Why would I even want to commit? I barely even knew the man. I wanted to know the man. And I just got these automatons a week ago.
Ma'am, Miss Skydiver. I'm gonna ask these questions again. Do you have any family members in the city or beyond?
Well, yes, beyond.
Please state the names of your family members.
I'd rather not, to protect my own privacy.
You look towards her.
Yeah.
All right. What do you know about the Free Legion? Do you have any affiliation with them? Would you consider yourself a sympathizer for their cause?
No. No, I.
Where are you currently employed?
Yes.
I asked you where are you currently employed, not if you are employed. Ma'am, please listen to the questions.
I apologize. I'm self-employed.
Would you mind repeating me again how you gained access to the VIP lounge? We did not find a invitation on your person.
You see, I was escorting a very nice lady who had requested my help up into the box. She wanted me to help her carry some of her things as she was older.
We have eyewitness reports that you were seen first standing over the body of one Portsmouth Gilded.
Well, yes, that is true. I did stand over his body. I did not, however, injure him in any way. He was dead.
What was your business on the body?
While I was in the VIP lounge, helping the lady, I heard a disturbing sound of someone falling to the ground, and since everyone else was watching what was going down on the ground floor, I decided to break in and see if I could help. You'll notice...
There are the reports that you had caused much distress for several influential visitors.
Well, that was not my
of the
intention.
show. I'd like to know how exactly you attained it. We spoke to an individual who was in charge of delivering pyrotechnics to the scene. They described someone resembling your appearance stepping into the venue, not exactly dressed for the box seats.
I don't know anything about that, but I must just have one of those faces.
How did you gain access to the venue, if not via the loading dock?
A ticket.
Roll a deception check.
$16.
Alright. She moves on. Back to Soup. What is your relationship with one Portsmouth Gilded who was found dead at the scene of the crime?
I don't even know who that is.
She writes something down, looks over at you, and sets the pen down, and speaks to you directly and says, "Listen, Soup, you're in a bit of trouble."
Soup is just kind of looking around like, what? I don't understand why I could be in trouble. I saved lives. I saved
There were
the
reports
star.
that you were on the floor during the middle of the confusion, and that you had direct access and seemed to have been disabled the automatons yourself. However, it was also described that you were found at the scene of the crime at the death of one Portsmouth Gilded. Do you possess any sort of innate magical abilities?
Yeah, but they're not related
Please
to any
state
of
the
that.
nature of your magical abilities.
I don't know beyond vaguely
You ever channel any
nature-based.
sort of... Do you channel any electronic or necrotic-based energy systems?
Necrotic, but not electronic, and I'm
She writes
not
that down.
I'm not adept with the necrotic stuff. It's real new. Please understand.
She lays the book down, and for a second she hears a little bit of commotion outside the door and says, "Soup it is. As I mentioned before, you're in a bit of trouble. And how it currently stands, we won't be able to get to the bottom of this as long as we don't have the full story. What do you know about the other individuals that were in the Crocodile's Ballgown that evening? Hugo Brassleaf, Gyendon, and a skydiver."
So I know two of those people. Who's Sky?
You described an individual running through the room, evading police, and digging through one of the trash receptacles. We performed an investigation. We found nothing inside. Do you know what the individual was looking for within?
Wait. Let me line something up. Is Sky the one in the red dress?
She was found wearing a red dress when we apprehended her. Indeed.
Oh dear. As I was coming in, I saw her face. She had come in, she had bumped into me. But she was wearing like a maintenance uniform. Oh, it's finally connecting.
You're saying that this individual was wearing a maintenance uniform prior to wearing the red dress.
I thought she worked here. Sorry, it took me a solid minute. Yeah, it's the same person.
And you would be able to take an oath that this was the same person indeed.
I have no reason to lie.
Cutting back to Skydiver. Miss Skydiver, we have a few witnesses on the account that you are indeed the same individual, that you had worn two separate outfits upon infiltrating the Crocodile's Ballgown. I'm going to ask you again. She closes her sort of notes and looks over at you. What was your business in the box office area and with Portsmouth Gilded?
I was watching the concert. I was assisting a lady who had asked for my help, and I did not hurt him in any way. When I arrived, he was already on the floor. To my knowledge, he was dead. Now, listen, as I mentioned, I'm self-employed. I'm self-employed as, in part, a consultant to the Velvet Blue. Now, I have not dealt with you directly in the past, but if you wouldn't mind, maybe checking with some of your colleagues. I'm sure someone will be able to...
Were you arriving at the Crocodile's Ballgown on Velvet Blue business?
No.
She opens the notes up and starts writing some more notes. Hugo Brassleaf. What is your relationship? We found that you were traveling with one of the other suspects that we had detained, a bugbear individual who goes by Soup. What is your relationship with them?
Oh, barely anything, but she performed a miracle on me during that battle. I would have died had it not been for her.
You were found accessing the VIP suite at the top of the Crocodile's Ballgown together.
Well,
what is your relationship with the woman who was in the red dress?
Oh, absolutely nothing. I saw her, and she was the one who first made us go check on
Mr. Hugo Brassleaf. I'm gonna have to ask you to calm down and speak clearly.
She was the one. She went in to see. Well, she's the reason we went in to check on Gilded. She went in, and when we got there, she was out the door, and he was on the floor. Now, we assumed she was the one, but she came back and was standing with us and insisted that it wasn't. I honestly have no idea what to think.
It was true that she was moving away from police presence when she moved back into the room. Is that correct?
I lost sight of her.
Mr. Hugo Brassleaf, She
Yes.
starts leaning towards you, but before that, we're going to cut to Gyendon. Gyendon. She looks at you and says, there were reports that you were summoning some sort of aura around you. Do you possess any sort of innate magical abilities?
I can basically enrage myself to improve my physical abilities. I haven't done that.
But nothing innately magical.
No, I don't think so.
Interesting. You're causing a lot of distraction on the scene. We found you surrounded by the bodies of 6 individuals that we are still identifying. Did you kill these individuals?
No, of course not. I was
Were you
mourning
part of
their
a
deaths.
diversion? Were you part of a diversion as part of the plot to assassinate Portsmouth Gilded in the upper boxes?
Who?
She writes that down. Hugo Brassleaf. She looks at you and says, there are reports, and we spoke to the proprietor and hired help of the establishment by the names of Randolph and Lazar. They reported having spoken to your manager, Jaren, as well as another contact who provided a direct and rather hefty sum of coin to have you play at the venue that particular evening, approximately 2 weeks prior towards the attendance on the 10th. What do you know about this?
Honestly, I go where my manager tells me. He didn't even tell me. I didn't even find out that for some reason Gilded was apparently involved in why I was there in the first place.
But you were indeed playing at it. Were you asked to perform any sort of special acts during there? Acts that may be considered distracting or disruptive? Perhaps to draw attention away from the box area?
No, I was asked.
Were you part of a diversion in the plot to assassinate Portsmouth Gilded?
The only diversion I'm part of is that of life's woes and sorrows. I know nothing. I was just there. It's a last hurrah, a last little throw of, can I keep this gig going?
You can see that she is already bored as you go on your artistic woe.
Yes.
She looks at you, and may I mention all of you, and says, where it currently stands, you have a choice. We either expend Velvet Blue resources in keeping you housed and imprisoned for the conclusion of this investigation, or, and you see she slams a sort of round sort of cufflet onto the table. The other option is, of course, and she sits on the table a kind of like, it looks kind of like a needle gun. Now you see this thing is a fun little instrument that we got from some of the boys up in Citadel. Some of their scientists have been working on ways of making individuals compelled to tell the truth. The problem is, and she just tosses against the wall, and it shatters against it. The stuff's a piece of shit. I tried it before on a couple of hooligans I was investigating. One of them had a heart attack, and the other 3, we could test it out on you, or we could put you on parole until the conclusion of our investigation. You will not be allowed to leave the city. You will have to wear this cufflet at all times. If you venture more than 100 meters outside the outermost edge of the city, we will be able to identify you, track you, and will have full means to apprehend you, even through lethal force. Is that understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to give you a choice. Either she gestures towards the broken needle gun in the corner of the room, or she slides over the sort of couplet to the other side of the table.
Hugo's gonna grab the couplet. I've got no reason to be outside the city in the first place.
You just snap it onto your arm.
Yep.
Yenden, the offer is made to you in a similar fashion.
I've had no reason to lie to you, but I don't want to see what's on the other side of that needle. I'm gonna pick up the arm bracelet.
You really don't. Even after through all what I've been through, gives me nightmares.
Mm.
So you snap the couplet onto
Yep.
your wrist. Soup.
I think I know what I'm gonna pick, but first, how long do you think this is gonna take? I have family out there.
How long it takes is entirely up to you.
I've got nothing to lose, and there's nothing I've been lying about. I take it and I snap it on.
Be aware that taking on this cufflet, keeping on this responsibility, it does not void you of any of the suspicion that's placed upon you. It simply means that you'll be able to attend to your affairs in the city. I recommend that you prepare for the worst eventuality.
Well, I prefer to keep my head.
Roll me a persuasion check, Sue, real quick. While we're on the topic of what potential punishment may be in store.
Ooh, I'm not rolling good. That's a 6.
She makes no comment on what exactly punishment in Electrival would entail. Sky. Taking on this couplet will give us full reign to be able to track your location and identify you and be able to apprehend you. I can assure you. Looks at the broken needle gun in the corner of the room. That might not exactly be the most efficient piece of technology coming out of the Citadel laboratories. But this thing here, I can assure you, no tinker in the city is going to help you get it off.
What was that extra option about being housed?
Well, we'll keep you housed here in the lower barracks. Though do be warned that remaining here exactly accommodations have to be met. And I'm sure you're aware of how much research is invested into the Velvet Blue system from the Citadel Senate. So if you don't want to become a test subject for them for the next, however long it takes to prove your innocence, which, looking at the reports we've got so far, might be a while. You might want to consider,
Fine.
changing up your style a little bit.
Fine. Put it on.
Try on some new jewelry. Looking at the bracelet.
Yes, you're very funny.
I think I find this funny. Listen. I've been through enough crap. I've been dragged through the sewers. I've been through every bit of scum, licked every single boot in this city. Whatever sort of pompous nobility you think you got, whoever you're aligned with, I can assure you, you don't know the worst of it.
Well, thank you very much for making that assumption. Now, if I put this on, will you leave?
We'll get you processed out of here, and, well, we'll be keeping a close eye.
No, I'm sure.
You snap it on?
Yes.
So, like, and as you snap it on, and the same goes to the rest of you, as you put on this sort of band, there's this sort of light blue kind of signature Aethertech color, and it go... As you see the runes on it begin to glow, the sort of break in it. Like, there isn't any sort of, like, hook mechanism. It's literally just, like, a swinging latch. And as it connects, it's just a solid sort of plate of metal that seals itself together. As essentially becoming a complete continuous band that adheres itself to your wrist and is as strong as titanium. And yeah, it's a little bulky and uncomfortable, but you can move it around freely enough. It's tight. It glows a very faint bit of blue, and you can see there's a series of elvish runes that seem to empower its properties. At which point...
Oh.
Given, you had something you wanted to say?
Yeah, can I know what the Elvish says if I have Elvish as a language?
It's not so much a language. It seems to, like, a lot of it is like very simple, like Elvish runes, such as saying detect, mend, kind of like some of them will like have like simple runes on there, but the majority of it seems to be of some sort of arcane nature you don't really understand.
Okay.
And yeah, all of you are left alone in the room for a little while, but not long, not as long as you've waited before.
Before she leaves, can I quickly ask her, will I be getting my stuff back?
As you reach her, she's about to close the door. Her belongings will be inspected and returned to you.
All right, thank you.
Just gives you a nod and closes the door. About half an hour later, each of you is sent another detail who comes in and takes off the sort of cuffs that had you chained to the table. However, the Aethertech band that you have all voluntarily put on still continues to hum that faint color. But as you step into the hallway, you would probably, I'd say, Sky is probably the last one, because they were probably questioning her for a longer period of time, trying to get straight answers out of her, and not exactly being the most successful. The three of you eventually have gathered your belongings. Yenden has just been released, and he's kind of being given. You see, there's this sort of scrappy half-elven dude in there who pulls out this big sledgehammer with a little tag on it, and says, I think this is yours, sir. It's found on your person. Just sign here.
It's mine. Give me that.
Slide you a little clipboard.
Sign it.
Sure, you just kind of sign. You get all your other stuff, and yeah, you've got this big sledgehammer you kind of took with you.
This isn't even my sledgehammer.
Yeah, Sky, you're beginning to make your way out. You're kind of released out of that area, and, you probably give a sour look to the dude who was walking you. And as you begin making your way towards the counter to pick up your belongings, you see a sort of dark-skinned, half-elven individual kind of pass you and say, I did what I could. Talk to me this evening. I'll let you know the place. And he'll kind of slip off. Walking kind of towards the back area. Yeah, you say?
Quietly tell him, thank you so much. I'll see you then.
Truthfully, I couldn't get far. Ulysses has had this thing cracked down.
I'm sure we can figure something out. Thank you anyway.
He looks at the little band. He kind of shivers looking at it. Not entirely confident that he can help you get out of this scrape the same way he's helped you get out of others.
I understand.
But as you are kind of standing there, Sky, and you're gathering your belongings, you see a figure step in out of the bathroom area. A halfling individual wearing a Plague's Doctor mask says, "Oh my god, guys! You okay? I've been trying for hours. They wouldn't let me see you. I've been lobbying. I've been trying to pull every string that I had. I'm so sorry, Ginden. I'm so sorry, Soup. I shouldn't have let this happen. It should have been me going out there tonight."
What it wasn't your fault. Don't worry. And either way, Gendon and I were able to save a lot of people in that audience. So maybe it's a good
Yeah.
thing we were there.
Well,
I
that's
mean-
just something that you can look at pleasure on. Yeah. You able to get out as a thing? What's that thing on your arm? Oh my-
We got
Oh
put
no.
on parole, I think it's called.
Until the
those
investigation's
things.
over.
I hate those things. We dragged the body out of the mire about a week ago. Had one of those things on it. Whole thing backfired. Completely fried the dude. I think he was trying to like run out of the city on boat. Real
Okay,
nasty thing.
then.
Real nasty thing. You're
Yeah,
real
I
brave.
wouldn't-
You're a braver person than I would. I would have just rotted in there, if given a choice. Waited for someone else to get me out. But trust me, if you didn't come out now, I'd be working tirelessly to get you out there. It's my fault you ended up there. I'm really, really sorry. I just wanted you to enjoy some music, some culture.
It's
I'm-
fine. It's fine.
The music was
Ah.
nice.
It was.
And the entire night was ruined. That's the worst bit.
There's gonna be other nights, and look, neither of us were doing anything wrong. So I'm sure soon enough they're gonna be like, "Oh, don't worry, we're real sorry this happened. We realized that y'all didn't do anything wrong."
Listen. Soup, you're a real nice fellow, and Gendon, you too. It's just the Velvet Blue, and he gets really hushed while he says this. They ain't got the reputation of always looking out for the people's best interest. Not exactly the people who's given them the money.
Oh.
Usually it's coming from the upper ups, and truthfully, I think that they're more concerned that they get someone to, stand trial than to let this case go unsolved. Which, can only mean that, they ain't got any other leads.
Well, if anything, there's that elven girl we saw. She's a lot more suspicious.
Hold on one second.
What elven girl?
Oh, what? Excuse me. Are you Hugo Brassleaf?
Yes, I am. I'm surprised somebody recognized me in
Oh
this
my
place.
goodness! Oh my god! I did not expect to see you here. I would have expected a man like you. You would have been whisked off to some merchant prince palace. You an all-star. I've been following you for years. Are you a shaker? You hugger?
At this
Do you
point,
do
I need a
autographs?
hug.
Come right here, and Jack Rambo will walk up to you and give you a hug. I can't believe I'm hugging Hugo Brassleaf. This is a crazy turn of events. This is the craziest day I've ever had.
You're telling me I get attacked and arrested on the same day, and now they think I've had some part of it and getting in trouble for unlawful work with automatons? I was following the user manual.
Oh, well, I'm sure someone like you're gonna be whisked right out of this. No legal trouble whatsoever.
Hugo just kind of like,
Folks like, Listen, I never quite got a chance to visit your club. I don't know if you got any sort of vacancies up there in Brimstone, but, I'm kind of a little bit of a, collector of coasters. And, so far I got a coaster of every single bar in the lower city and in most of the Starlight District. But Brimstone, I mean, a guy like me, all I gotta do is get in the door, right? I'll handle it from there.
well, good luck getting into Brimstone these days. There's not much.
You can't help a fellow halfling?
Well, I mean, I could. It's just,
I don't want. Sorry, I don't mean to press at all.
No, it's not that. Just Brimstone
I
is.
was mostly coming here to help out these two fellas.
So you're the fellow who set them up here.
Well, I didn't want to sit them up. That was kind of a little bit unintentional. I mostly just wanted them to have a good night out.
Yeah, I meant set them up with the tickets, of course. Well, I'm glad you
Listen.
did. Soup saved my life.
Well, that's mighty impressive. I mean, College Macabre resources are stretched a little bit thin right now, but I mean, at least if you're free, you'll have a chance to maybe prove your innocence, right? And Sky, this is at this point like you've gathered your belongings and you've begun making your way past the door when you hear this short halfling individual wearing the plague doctor's mask speak to the three of them and say, a chance to prove your innocence.
What about that, sir?
Hello, ma'am. Is this the elven individual, the elven woman you were speaking about? Lovely dress, by the way.
Thank you.
Soup just kind of side glances, like real wide eye, and nods.
Hugo turns to Sky and says, You're the one who's gonna get me arrested here. What is going on? You killed that man. You killed the most important man in Electrival.
No, I didn't.
Like, Jack definitely, like, takes a step back and doesn't really know what to say. You can't see his face, but he definitely kind of has a very bird-like look to him that looks very confused.
Oh, that's right. Stands over a body that's been desiccated and is charred, falling apart at the seams, and then runs away, only to run away again. Yeah, try me. I've seen a couple of things.
Well, I'm glad that means you're always right. I should have known.
Just, what are you even doing here? They're not throwing you in the prison already? They haven't got all the information they need?
Hugo, take it down a little bit. I mean, she probably has something to say.
Look, I'm in the same situation as the rest of you. I did nothing, significantly illegal. I broke a window. I broke 2 windows, but I did nothing else. And I would be happy to pay for those 2 windows, by the way. Other than that, I have done nothing wrong. The same as you 3. And I'm trapped in one of these portable, wearable electrical hazards the same way any of you are. So why don't we all work together here?
Wait. You're talking like cash is no object. This is gonna sound real rude. I don't know any easier way to ask this. Are you rich or something?
No. Why?
Just because...
Well, you seem like the type to buy yourself out of trouble even if you caused it all.
Forgive me, but last time I checked, in a mirror, I didn't see 2 rogue automatons recently shoddily repaired by Mr. Brassleaf here.
That was not... I did exactly what the instructions said.
Now look, I'm not here to start a fight. I don't actually think it's your fault. I'd love it if you'd give me the same benefit of the doubt. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but if we were to all stick together, we might be able to help each other get out of this.
Yeah, fine. Sorry I snapped at you. I'm a little frazzled.
I understand.
So you didn't kill him?
No.
Huh.
Yanda, what do you think in all this? I think I trust you the most out of everyone.
I don't know. I mean, I just met this lady over here 2 minutes ago.
I'll go along with what Gendon does.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of the only other people I know besides Jack in this city, so it's probably best that I stick with you guys.
Well, we all got these, little charming bracelets. I think the only way to get out of them is together.
Sky, you see just a regular clerk, a younger, woman that you might have seen kind of be in charge of coffee runs around the back office. She approaches you carrying a small little rhinestone-covered clutch, and she says, "Excuse me, ma'am. I think that they forgot to give you back your accessory."
Thank you. Yes, that is mine. It perfectly matches the red dress I was wearing that evening.
She kind of like looks a little bit stunned. Glad I could help. And she'll start making her way out of the room.
Hugo would like to take a look.
And like, yeah,
What
just
is
to kind
that?
of set the scene a little bit more, you guys are kind of in that sort of debriefing room at a police station with the sort of the clerk desk, and you can see there's more activity beyond, but there is a door that leads outside. There's like a single sort of gritty bathroom that Jack had come out of. Go on, Hugo.
Oh, then I'll see. Let's take this outside then, shall we?
Let
What
me
is that?
pick up my stuffs first.
Okay.
All right. Well, you've already all picked up your stuff.
Ah,
Yeah, it was just that I was sitting at a little bit that you all didn't come out at the same time. You were all not interviewed at the same time. But similar topics were approached.
As we're
Alright.
walking out, I'd like to ask Sky, what is that accessory you just got?
A clutch, I think. It's meant to be stylish.
Hugo, I think as a man of decent taste, where you do have to, look the part that you play, you can tell pretty on the face that this guy doesn't exactly have a lot of fashion experience.
Oh, my. Well, we certainly should get you a finer one if we're going to be wearing those around.
That's all right. Really, I've decided it's not much my style. Maybe a backpack or shoulder bag.
As you are making your way out and you have a moment where Hugo's eyes aren't on you, do you peek inside the clutch?
Yes.
You find a tiny little piece of paper inside. You may need to read more of it in a moment, but the first line that you do read says, "I'm sorry." And then below that, it says, "The deep dive."
Is that it?
Sundown.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll just
so,
put that back in the purse and keep it under wraps for now.
sure, you just kind of awkwardly clutch it away. All right. So Soup and Yendon and Jack are probably the first ones that come out, and then Hugo and Sky are shortly behind. And yeah, you are all standing outside the sort of plaza in the Starlight District where the Maison Bleu stands, this big monolithic building flying the colors of the Velvet Blue. You see that there's a sort of docking bay where they seem to park and stable a lot of their horses and buggies.
So, what time is it?
Looking at it now, it is very, very early in the morning. Like, the sun is just beginning to peak. And yeah, you the lights above you are always bright as they are, but it is drizzling rain right now. Very dreary. Not heavily, but
Yeah,
Soup's hat is just kind of pitter-pattering.
can't believe they let us stay in there the whole entire night through. Any sort of thing. What do you say we find a place to just go, sit, and talk about this?
My apartment?
Is it close?
Is my apartment close?
You're in the Starlight District right now. It would probably be a short walk, probably less than 5 minutes to get to the Smokestack District, and then you'd have to navigate the sort of interior housing spaces to get to. But yeah, it's close enough. You could probably get there in maybe about 10 minutes of walking.
Yeah, that's the most decent place I know, and to get some rest, because gosh, that concert was way past my bedtime as is.
I'm okay with that.
Would Brimstone be closer?
Brimstone would be in the upper city, so the fastest way to probably get up there would be to navigate around to where the Ferris wheel is and ride that up. Otherwise, you'd basically be walking up many, many flights of stairs to basically climb the tiers of the city.
Okay, apartment it is then.
And Brimstone isn't exactly a napping spot.
I don't even have a back room.
You probably would.
Nah, apartment it is.
Trumpet, that's your
Alright.
back room.
I suppose that's.
Oh
good.
yeah, and Hugo, that's one of the things that you were provided now is the trumpet itself seems to have repaired itself a bit. You do need to kind of tune it up before you can use it properly again, though.
Including the little bottling effect.
Yep.
Cool.
You must perform an hour-long ritual, I believe.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Then let's make our way to the apartment.
So, Soup, would you like to describe the journey somewhat? Actually, before you begin traveling, Hugo, you feel someone calling your name as they seem to be walking away from the sort of awning in front of the Velvet Blue headquarters. You see an individual carrying like an umbrella on their shoulder and a notepad in the other. You see it is a water ganassi individual, and they seem to be speaking to you and say, "Hello, excuse me, are you Hugo Brassleaf?"
Yes, you got that right.
My name is Lloyd. I am a reporter for Tab Media Worldwide. Would you have a moment to discuss your heroic role in previous night's incident?
I mean, you can spend it how you want. Still, it was a tragedy.
Oh, no. We hear that you do much. You say tragedy. Yes. Describe your scene. What happened?
Automatons that were supposed to protect attacked, and
Right.
it is a tragedy. People were killed. Not to mention thousands of dollars in property damage.
Property damage, indeed, and terrible death. I hear very tragic. Do you have any more comment that I can make? Anything you would like to say to the people?
Hugo pauses to think for a moment. Just be careful out there. You never know when things are gonna go in the opposite way that you think. And just thinks even more. That is all. There's too much going on for me to say anything right now that won't be. Somebody will be able to construe to say whatever they want.
Lloyd
I'm still
completely
figuring
understands.
it out myself.
Lloyd completely understands. Sorry, I have to talk loud. It is very noisy. The rain. We discuss another time. Come to office, upper tier of city. He hands you a little card.
Okay.
Speak to us. We help. We help get information out. Get help with uncovering truth.
The truth would be nice right now. I will be seeing you then.
Indeed. Have good day, Mr. Brassleaf. Sorry about your troubles.
That's nothing that won't be fixed with time, Lloyd. Good day.
Yep. So you look at the card, and the first thing you see is just TAB, like big letters, and then very tiny at the bottom. It has Lloyd's name and office number, and like a little 5-digit extension where you could potentially contact them via wire, sort of like telephone line.
Yeah. Zoop.
But yeah, the majority of the card just says Tab.
Tab.
Mhm.
All right. Lead the way,
And-
Soup.
Right, so Soup, after navigating the city all tired in the very early parts of the morning, fortunately the sun isn't too bright, which kind of helps with your lack of sleep. But as you make your way through the sort of places everyone's following, you eventually come to a sort of wide tunnel shape, standing maybe about 10 feet tall, that just goes straight into the center of the city. and you can see many sort of apartment numbers labeled around here and some pathways that kind of, like a maze, seem to twist and navigate. For the majority of Electrival's denizens are actually housed within the walls of the city.
Yeah, I start kinda leading the way, and as I'm sort of getting into the groove of, oh, I'm taking people to my apartment. I haven't had guests in a while. Oh God, I haven't had guests in a while. That's where Tony lives. That's where Roni lives. That's where Loney lives. Real nice people. They all look the same. Be careful of that. Don't mix them up. They get upset. Just kind of rambling on as I start going and getting a little bit more excited and nervous at the same time.
Yes, they sound like charming fellows.
And Roni will
All right.
keep talking on and on and on.
Yeah. And as you navigate, you eventually come to your door. Would you like to take us from here, Soup?
Yep. All right, so I first of all, I knock on the door real quick, and I just kind of say, Edgar, we have guests. I unlock it, I open it, and it kind of opens in directly on the kitchen, which is decently clean, like enough of like it's not like a disaster. Like I definitely take care of the place, except for the sink. The sink is full of dishes, and there's just a bunch of vines coming up from inside of it, just spilling out of the sink and on the counter. It has kind of like a Venus flytrap mouth.
Garbage disposal?
Interesting decor.
I promise you, do the dishes.
Hello, Edgar.
Edgar?
Edgar.
Does Edgar make any sounds?
I mean, I've had conversation with Edgar on the regular, and if I'm nice, he does the dishes.
There's like a little draft that picks up in the room, and you swear that Edgar's sort of big open head kind of flops to the other side.
Oh my god, Edgar's the plant?
Edgar's the plant. I have to trim him, otherwise
see a
Loaf
moth.
might incinerate him.
You see there's like a moth that flies towards this sort of overgrown, planter, and as it like lands, suddenly like flopping onto the tongue of this fly trap, it just snaps shut. It's kind of giving you all a little bit of a startle.
That's not how we treat guests, Edgar. Okay, we're gonna go past that.
Out of character, this is not what I expected to hear.
Out of character, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Please give us more of this house.
So I just drag everyone to the living room. And we see, so there's one big couch and then an armchair. And on the other side, where you think there'd be like stereotypically like in our world, like a TV and a TV stand, there's just a big tank that's full of mushrooms and a lot of snails. And they're all different sizes and colors. And each snail has its like favorite mushrooms it likes to hang out with. And there's some lighting, but I've definitely tried to install my own in the form of like bioluminescent mushrooms with varying degrees of success.
You notice that there's actually a little bit toasty in here, as you see kind of growing in these sort of natural, very old sort of, pre-eclipsing type of stonework that this apartment has been renovated out of. There's these sort of mushrooms growing on a shelf at the top that are like these sort of glowing radiator caps that emanating this dry, bright, kind of very saturated red heat out of it.
All right, yeah, that's the kitchen. I don't have it well stocked. It's mostly snacks right now. I gotta pick up more stuff later.
You see that there are like vines and stuff growing out of like the cupboards. Not all of them, but just on like one half of them exactly.
I really gotta clean up before my sister gets back. She doesn't like it when I let the place get unruly. Then she threatens to use a flamethrower, and it's controlled, but it's still scary.
Sky,
Alright.
on your little stiletto heel, you see a little snail has climbed onto the toe.
I try to shake it off.
You roll me a strength check.
Oh my
No,
god.
make a dexterity check.
It's a buff snail.
Sleight of foot. Sleight of foot.
I want to see.
Snails are
an artist
sticky,
draw
yo.
a
I
buff
just
snail.
kick a piece of furniture really hard.
Mhm.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm rolling dexterity, right?
Just a straight dexterity.
Okay.
I want to see an artist draw a buff snail holding onto a shoe.
What do you roll? 15?
Total.
You kick the heel a little bit. You don't send the shoe flying, and you do kind of send a little snail plop onto the wall where it just starts climbing up.
You can't.
It makes snail noises, whatever those might be.
I can imagine there's another snail in the tank, and that slowly diverts its attention over there. And the snail is noticeably like muscular for a snail, if that's even possible. And
Sure.
it just also looks at Sky.
I
Its
make eye
eyes just
contact with the snail, and I
eye stalks
stare it
inflate.
down until it regrets its actions.
roll me an intimidation check or an animal handling, your choice.
Rolls to intimidate snail. Assert dominance.
20.
You have to like stare at it for like a good 10 seconds because it's a snail and it's pretty slow to pick up on stuff. But certainly, this snail knows that you're the alpha here.
High rolls where it really matters.
You get the choice of whatever mushroom you want.
I don't like mushrooms.
Are you trying to scare Mr. Big Boy over there?
No, I'm succeeding.
Yenden, what are you
Soup
doing this
looks
entire time?
noticeably hurt.
I am astounded at how, like, this place looks like it's been just growing things for so long. And in, like, this highly developed place, it just looks so old, essentially.
Hugo's kind of trying to avoid touching anything kind of living and just kind of like slightly visibly a little uncomfortable with the situation.
Well, this is a mighty wonderful place, Soup. I really enjoyed going for this walk and seeing your place, but I gotta get out of here. I really wish you the best of luck, though. If you need anything, please reach out to us. Do you have any idea where you're gonna be heading for this, investigation you're doing on your own to prove your innocence?
Wait, who's saying this?
Is that Jack?
It's Jack.
Oh!
He hasn't left the party.
Oh,
I totally didn't forget either.
I'm so sorry, sir. I really
Oh, no,
appreciate all
you've
you've done, but
been an
I was
incredible
looking-
guest.
I was kind of looking over your head there.
It's fine. I get it all the time. You mind? He's still
I
wearing like the
high-five
top hat and plague doctor mask on him.
I love this
I
man
nod to
so
him
much.
in understanding of the show.
I don't know off the top of my head, but that's kind of why I brought everyone here to get comfortable, discuss that. I can make
Well,
some soup.
I really got a backlog that I gotta wrap up. But you know how to find me at work. Just reach out to me if you need anything. If you need any recommendation, I heard something about purple lightning. I wonder if the Order of the Bulb knows anything about that. They've
Oh, that's a
handled
good
the
idea.
Arcstone for a long time.
That's a good idea.
They're usually
Yeah.
willing to help folks who got a good reason to.
Yeah, thank you so much for the invitation and the tip and everything, Jack. I
Hey,
really
and you know what?
appreciate it.
And you know what? Don't even worry about the bail. I'll take it out of your paycheck.
Bail?
Oh yeah, I had to pay bail on all y'all. Well, not on that one or that one. Some fire ganassi fellow. I think bailed Hugo out. You had him had an interesting chat. I believe his name was Alexander. Said he was impressed with the performance.
Well, I mean, I'm glad. I don't know an Alexander. Very gracious.
Well, that's another trail for you to chase.
Yeah, I'm going
Anyway,
to.
I think this is where I'm gonna leave all y'all to take a little bit of a napper.
Can I ask if you know who bailed me out?
Don't exactly know. I mean, I only knew him because I was getting a conversation, and he mentioned that he was coming to pay the bail for Hugo Brassley. But I was like, Hugo Brassley? How does this guy not get immediately picked up by his producer? This is like the biggest hot shot there is. No pun intended, sir.
Hugo feels a little better at having his ego stoked like that.
But yeah, no. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you need to speak to the department yourself.
All right.
Anyway, best of
Alexander.
luck, and oh, sorry, Mr. Brassleaf, you were saying?
No, just muttering to myself, Alexander. Do I know that name?
Do you? Roll me just an intelligence check.
Oh boy. Okay, that's not bad. Holy crap. Dirty 20.
Okay. You've heard the name.
I've just heard of a fire genasi named Alexander.
You would actually know, your patron of sorts does most of his business through, business contacts, family, as he calls them. You might have seen Alexander, perhaps, maybe 5-10 years ago when he was a younger individual, a child at the time, who, was the youngest member of the family. Essentially expected to take on the reins of most of the business. And maybe you even, with that role, you would even think that Jaren might have mentioned that Alexander would be in attendance tonight. Or perhaps you saw that on the guest list.
Alexander. I have to find this fellow.
Alexander Embercrest, you would know specifically.
Thank you.
Of course. Jack will look at all y'all and say, well, I'm looking at all y'all, and I appreciate you know, being friggin' honest with me. I really wish you the best of luck, because, you know, finding a couple workers like you two, well, it ain't exactly that easy.
Oh, thank you. If you do come across the victims of last night, treat them well.
Oh, absolutely. Who do you think they called in to do the autopsy on Mr. Gilded? I gotta say, it was an honor.
Wait, you did the autopsy on him?
Oh, absolutely. I'm the most famous mortician in Electrival.
My
How did he die?
apologies.
Oh, real crazy thing. That people kept talking about this purple lightning, and it's been getting me thinking. I'd never seen marks like that before. It's like Arcstone power, but not quite. Not Aethertech either, but kind of reminiscent a little bit. I don't exactly understand that technology, but no, he died. It basically burnt a hole straight through his heart.
So, what kind of tool or implement might you need to do that to somebody?
Don't know, but whoever did it approached him from behind, and it had two little prawns stuck to it.
Would it be large? Conspicuous in any way?
I mean, considering how the galvanic switchboard and other engineers and tinkerers and artificers managed to keep packing down the amount of power we can route into tiny objects, I imagine it could probably be something handheld.
Okay. But not something that was found on me when I was arrested.
I mean, I'd be happy to talk about that another time, but I mean, not that I know. I didn't see the evidence. They just kind of brought me in and asked how this dude died. They all seemed puzzled about it. Not even their standard mortician knew what to do about it.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I didn't catch your name, by the way. Your name's Jack Rambo.
Sky.
Sky. Well, so long, Sky. So long, Soup. So long, Yenden. So long, Mr. Hugo Brassleaf. Best of luck with your career.
And with yours.
Of course. Hope to be passing drinks with you up in Brimstone sometime.
Hope to see you
All right.
alive.
Goodbye, Mr. Was it Beefy Boy?
Yes.
Looks over at the snail tank. All right. See y'all. and there'll just be a as he closes the door behind him as you leave. All of you are exhausted and tired.
Yep.
So I got the couch right here. There's Loaf's room. She's not home right now, but that's one bed. And I got
Looking
my
in,
bed over there.
Loaf's bed is pristinely made. Does anyone try to claim it?
Yes.
Okay.
If we're all going to lie down, may I?
Sure. Yeah.
Like gesturing to Loaf's bed, since it seemed like we were all gonna lie down.
I got my bed.
Yeah. And you see there's like a sort of vine-like hammock, or probably like a hammock that's made out of rope, but it's just kind of been overgrown with vine, kind of mounted in the corner near the snail tank.
I have
Little shelves of mushroom growing off the rope.
I have recreated the swamp in my house.
Indeed. And it's like one of those things where you have like two roommates living in the same space, but both of them have completely different styles. Like one of them literally has brought the swamp into the home, and the other is like they can't even let an odd number of pencils sit in a jar.
How does the couch look?
Couch? Soup? Would the couch be okay?
The couch is pretty okay. It might be a little damp.
Yeah, it's maybe like you might want to lay a sheet over it, but it's not like it's got shelves of fungus and algae growing on it.
Could I have the couch?
Yeah, go ahead.
Could I have the couch and some blankets? Several, if you have any.
I think Loaf has extra. She tends to get cold. And I just kind of go into her closet. Or not towards her closet. First, my brain just goes immediately for the file cabinets. I open a bunch of file cabinets, shut them again, and then go to the closet like, that's not where you keep blankets. And then I get the blankets.
Right. Yandon?
I'm waiting for everyone else to get settled before I find a spot.
Alright.
But
Well,
I guess I'll take
Soup?
the hammock.
Okay.
Wait.
Wait, is that your bed?
Soup, do you interrupt Yandon climbing into your hammock?
I don't know why I thought people would be okay with sharing the big bed, or that you would get the big bed because you're a bigger fella.
I totally forgot to think about the size of the bed and size of me.
I mean, Hugo, you're a little man who needs a big space, aren't you?
Yep. Yeah,
Alright.
and Diva will travel.
Rich boy jazz star space.
So Yandon has claimed the hammock as you sag into it, and it just kind of creaks beneath you, Yandon, but holds your weight. Sky just kind of lies down on the couch after laying down a couple of blankets and begins trancing. And Hugo just slams the door as they lie down on the biggest, nicest bed in the place.
So you're like,
And Soup, where do you want to lie down?
I'm just so tired. I just collapse on the floor. I just pass out like night.
All right, you just lie
And
down
as-
on the rug.
And as soon as I'm out, all the mushrooms in the house turn off as well.
Yeah, so it's like you do that and you go to like turn off like the electric light above you, and it's just like a moment where it's just like the red and the green and the blue lights in there, and all of you are kind of looking at that, and then Soup snaps their fingers and all of them dim.
Nice.
Nice.
So it's just so you're not completely blinded in here. I mean, most of you have dark vision. Half of you have dark vision actually. But yeah, there's just a very faint amount
to hold
of
a dance party.
there's just a very faint amount of dim light remaining. But yeah.
I'm gonna like lay a blanket on Soup.
All right.
They're just out like a light.
Is this a short rest or a long rest?
Well, I think that this is where we are going to end the episode here, and everyone can take a long rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get my spells.
See everyone next time.
You have been listening to Electrival, as featured on Dice Carnival. We appreciate your support in listening to this podcast and leaving us a good rating. Please consider subscribing and following us on Twitter. Music is used with permission by This Way to the Egress. You can find links to them, some of our sponsors, and other collaborators in the description below. And lastly, remember to always salt your water before boiling. Farewell.